Commissioner here in Lagos State, Professor Alamieyeseigha. Salami, thank you for joining us on the news at this time.
It's my pleasure.
Well, Emmanuel, you heard what the REC had to say. We're expecting the result of Surulere Constituency 1 if the voting ends at about 2:30 p.m. today. What do you have to say as regards is concerned about leaving it to the National Assembly on raising concerns over cost of running this election?
Definitely, the National Assembly, we have to, through every election, there is a cost for that election, and they need to amend the law and to ensure that if you are spending this particular money for this election, all elections in Nigeria has what you need to spend on it. So you can't just wake up and say, okay, we are reducing, like the presidential election, if what you have to spend is about 10 million, we are reducing it to 5 million. You cannot just come out and say that. But one thing I was also expecting him to say is the use of the beavers. We didn't hear from any of our correspondents in Lagos talking about malfunctioning of that particular machine. So it shows that INEC today, with what we saw on ground, shows that, well, I won't say that.
I mean, they released the materials really early.
Until 2:30, when we see that the election has ended, before Nigerians will start giving their commendations and what we have seen as journalists on ground.
Let's also talk about security. You say the security have tried their best in ensuring we've not had any case of violence today.
Well, surprisingly,
for Surulere, that is a hotspot in Lagos, as compared to last year when you covered the election.
Maybe because it's just one constituency that we're having at the moment, and that's why, even with the low turnout, how do you expect to see those hoodlums coming out to perform one issue or the other? So, well, thank God there's no violence in this election as at this time, and we expect that at the end of the election, when the result will be out, all will be well in that particular constituency.
All right, we have our correspondent live for us in Plateau State, that's Funom Joshua. Funom, thank you for joining us at this time. Can you talk to us about your assessment of today's voting process?
Thank you very much. The exercise so far so good here in Plateau State is moving smoothly, peacefully and orderly at the moment. We went around some of the polling units in the state capital, and then the exercise is just, peacefully, as taught by some other quarters, following the challenge of insecurity bedeviling some communities here in Plateau State. There's this perception that the election here might not really, hold peacefully. But what we are hearing and what we've seen so far, the exercise is peacefully at the moment. Apart from the challenge of low turnout from the electorates here, the exercise is peacefully, just that the turnout is very low. We went around over 6-7 polling units. The turnout is not really encouraging at the moment. But then in terms of, the conduct, everything is moving peacefully at the moment. There is commendation on the part of the INEC. The officials of the INEC came early and they started, at the right time, the 8 o'clock stipulated time. They started at that time and everything is moving peacefully. Their materials, the machines they are using, as well as the sensitive and non-sensitive materials, everything is just, working, in a normal way as expected. So here in Plateau State, precisely, we are here in Jos South local government area, one of the areas where the election is holding. Everything is moving peacefully. Here in this polling unit, as you can see, the turnout is not really encouraging. Like I said, it's very low, as well as other places we went round to see. Earlier, 3 days ago, there's this call from IPAC that the political parties might not really, they called for the boycott of the election from the political parties following the removal of one of the political parties, from participating. And then so earlier we're looking at probably that call from them might have caused the delay But then, again, some other people that we talked to them, a stakeholder said, because of the previous experience with INEC, that is what actually caused the delay in that particular area. But then, so far so good. The exercise here in Plateau State is moving peacefully, and we are hoping it will continue to the end of the exercise.
I agree with you, Funom. It's looking peaceful, but quite scanty. Can you confirm to us what time the election, the voting will end today at that polling unit?
Okay, it's expected to end 5 o'clock. It started 8 o'clock. I mean 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Sorry, 2 o'clock. Started 8, and then hoping that the exercise, with the way it's moving now, people are coming to cast their vote and go. We are hoping that the stipulated time, 2 o'clock, they will end the process here in Plateau State. Of course, so far, so many people have voted in this particular place where we are at the moment. They said, some people came and, cast their vote and left. But then the challenge, like I said earlier, is a low turnout from them.
All right, thank you very much, Funom. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Back to you, Emmanuel. Talking about a particular party being disqualified from contesting for this election. Does this raise concern to you about people having a mind of their own or being influenced by?
That is the Inter-Party Advisory Council has been speaking tough concerning that particular development, saying they will boycott this particular rerun election, which is taking place in Plateau North and also Bassa North, just North Federal Constituency. But with what our correspondent is saying at the moment, it's also a low turnout. He also attributed the fact that maybe because of that particular order, that's why they are not seeing a large turnout of voter in this particular state concerning this election. So we wait to see the end of this, and the result will definitely come out. And after this, well, I don't know, Nigerians, until we see that the outcome, before the political parties and their politicians will know the next step before they start arguing about the irregularities in this particular election. So what we have at the moment is a low turnout, and voting is expected to end, according to what our reporter is saying, is 2 p.m. That in Lagos is about 2:30. So why the disparity in
numbers?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get back to that, but also need to also talk about the fact that is it rather than blaming INEC for this, blaming lack of information and misinformation, or maybe Nigerians are not aware. Is there a possibility that they are aware, but some of the current economic situations that we are facing, Nigerians are so busy right now not to vote?
Yeah, well, that may also affect. I won't preempt their minds because they have their reasons for not coming out to cast their ballot. But when we look at the situation in the country, especially in Plateau State, the issue of insecurity on the Plateau, some might have their reasons not even to come out to cast their ballot at the moment. But the exercise, according to Funom Joshua, is
quite peaceful.
Peaceful at the moment.
Yes.
I keep saying that when election is here, some Nigerians will always say that we hardly hear issue about insecurity. Why is it that places that you term as hotbeds for insecurity is always very calm when election is around? Is it that some politicians or some people decided to say, okay, let's keep calm and ensure peace reign, and after the election we can go back and start committing?
Are you saying some external factors are influencing the outcome of elections? Is that what you're saying?
Because you had Funom there saying that